And in today's session, I'll just give the brief information of network. What is network? What is networking? I will just give brief information. So directly, I'm not starting CCNA course. Before starting CCNA, I will give you brief information. I already told you in last session. I'll give the brief introduction to networking. Okay. Like it's like introduction part, intro part. Okay. Whatever points I will tell now as basics of networking. That points in further sessions. Once the CCNA sessions are started, we'll see practically also. In depth, we'll discuss about the concepts. Can anyone tell me what is network? Anyone? What is network?
Network is nothing but communication between two or more devices.
Now assume you have two pieces. And these two pieces are connected physically. Using cable, you give the connectivity between these two pieces. Then it is called network. Network means physical connection between two or more devices. When two or more devices are connected physically, then it is called network. Can they communicate with each other? Can they communicate with each other? Means no. Because they also require logical connectivity. After giving the physical connectivity, devices cannot communicate with each other because they require logical connectivity. Say, for example, 192.168.1.1 to my first PC, 192.168.1. to my second PC. If I assign this IP addresses, then these devices can communicate with each other. Then it is called networking. Network means physical connectivity between two or more devices. Networking means communication between two or more devices. When two or more devices are connected physically, then it is called network. And when they are communicating with each other, then it is called networking. So any networking devices, if two devices wants to communicate with each other, compulsory they require physical connectivity and logical connectivity. This point is important for entire networking classes. If two devices wants to communicate with each other, compulsory they require physical and logical connectivity. This notes, basics of networking notes I will share. Once you registered, you will get the notes to your Telegram group. So networking. Now, what is the advantage of connecting devices together? If the devices are connected together, we can share the resources. Resources means we have resources like hardware resources and software resources. Hardware resources means printers, scanners, etc. Software means files, folders, applications, etc. If the devices are connected together, we can share the resources from one device to another device. So for that reason, for sharing the resources, we connect the devices together in every organization. Are you getting what I'm explaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Ma'am,
network. Yeah, Charan.
ma'am, can you repeat once again that networking, ma'am?
Yeah.
Definition.
Network a definition I will explanation means I will give. Definitions are not required because I will share the notes with you.
Yeah, difference between that network and networking.
Yeah, network means physical connection. When the devices are connected physically, then it is called network. When the devices or when we assign IP addresses to devices, then it is called networking. Logical connection between two or more devices is called networking. Physical connection between two or more devices is called network. See,
Okay, ma'am.
a network is interconnection of two or more computers together in order to share files or communicate. When the computers connected in a network communicate with each other, it is called networking. So simple physical connection between two or more devices is called network. Logical connection between two or more devices is called networking. Clear, Charan?
Yeah, now it is working.
Ma'am, could you please give us an example?
My screen is visible, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Now I have two PCs. Okay. if I give physical connection between these two PCs, if I give the physical connection between these two PCs, then it is called network. Physically, devices are connected with each other, but still the devices cannot communicate with each other. Then what I'll do is, I'll click on PC. I'll assign IP address. All the devices are connected with each other physically. Okay, so with the help of centralized controller, I connected the pieces. Now, I'll click on PC. I'll go to IP configuration. Here I will assign IP address. Now I'm checking the connectivity 192.168.1.2. Reply is coming. So my first PC is able to communicate with my second PC. And my first PC is able to communicate with my third PC also. This is called networking. When the devices are connected physically, we call it as network. After assigning the IP addresses, devices can communicate with each other. We can share the data from one PC to another PC. Then it is called networking. Is this clear?
Ma'am, I have a small doubt here. Can't
Yeah.
we connect without a centralized hub to each other?
Actually, we can, without centralized controller, you cannot connect
Yes, ma'am.
multiple devices.
For two devices, ma'am, without
Two
centralized
devices is
devices.
possible. Two devices is
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
Now I have two devices, two pieces. Two pieces are connected physically. Can they come? This is called network. Can they communicate with each other? Means no, they cannot communicate with each other. because there is no IP address. Now I'm assigning IP address. Done. Now this is called networking because they can communicate with each other.
Okay.
Like this. Actually, this all I will explain in the CCNA classes and further classes practically. Networking, everything you'll get in CCNA classes practically. So when the devices are connected physically, then it is called network. When they are communicating with each other, then it is called networking. If two devices wants to communicate with each other, compulsory they require physical connection and logical connection. Physical connection means cable connectivity, media. Logical connection means IP address. What is the advantage of connecting the devices together? Means we can share the resources from one device to another device. If the devices are connected in a network means. Okay, then inter-network. Now assume I have one network. This is one network which is in Hyderabad. Okay, I have another network. This is my another network which is in Bangalore. Or here I'm using 192.168.1.0 network. And here I'm using 192.168.2.0 network. Okay, so I'm using here 1.0 network. Here I'm using 2.0 network. Two different networks cannot communicate with each other directly. Two different networks cannot communicate with each other directly. What is this IP address? In next classes, I will explain completely. In 2-3 days, I'll explain this IP address class. Okay, now assume I have 192.168.1.0 network. Using this network, I assigned IP addresses to my PCs. And in the second network also, I have PCs. These PCs are connected to switch because it is my centralized controller. Okay, so here I assigned IP addresses from 2.0 network. Two different networks cannot communicate with each other. Then what we do is we connect routers. Here one router and here one router. Router is a networking device which gives communication between two or more different networks. So when routers are connected to our switch physically, our switch is connected to router. Here also switch is connected to router and this router is connected to this router. Physically the devices are connected with each other. Then it is called internetwork. Interconnection between two or more devices is called internetwork. Or physical connection between two or more devices is called internetwork. Internetworking means after giving the physical connectivity between all these devices, we also assign IP addresses. If you see, I assigned IP addresses to my router. Then it is called internetworking. Communication between two or more different networks is called internetworking. When two or more different networks are connected physically with the help of router, it is called internetwork. When they are communicating with each other, then it is called internetworking. Okay, so router is a networking device which gives communication between two or more different networks. Okay, our entire CCNA class is about this router only. There are two types of router, software router and hardware router. Software router is nothing but a computer with server operating system. It acts like a router. When we have different networks below 100 meters, we go with software router. In real time, we use hardware routers only. We use this routers only in real time. Okay, so about these configurations only we are going to learn in our CCNA. Okay, so in network, physical connection between two or more devices, networking, communication or logical connection between two or more devices. Internetwork, interconnection between two or more different networks. Internetworking, communication between two or more different networks. So what is router? How to configure the router? This all we'll see in our further session. As I told, I'm just giving in brief introduction. These all configurations we are going to learn in our further classes.
Ma'am, switch is called centralized what?
Sorry, come again?
The switch is called centralized or something, some terminologies you...
Centralized controller.
Okay. If there are multiple PCs, then we have to use centralized controller, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
using one cable, you can connect only two pieces. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have multiple pieces, there we need a centralized controller.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what is the name of the cable, ma'am, for the two individual devices to connecting each other?
Yeah. That I'll explain next.
Okay.
As of now, network, networking, internetwork, internetworking. That's it. The cable connectivities, IP address, everything I'll explain one by one.
Okay, ma'am.
For connecting PC to PC, we use cross cable. For connecting PC to switch, we use stripe cable. The cables will explain later. So in network, we have three types. There are three types of networks: LAN, MAN, WAN. Local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. So there are three types of networks. Okay, when the devices are connected within a campus or building, we call it as LAN. Say for example like this. Here within a campus or building, if you have PCs and they are communicating with each other with the help of centralized controller, it may be hub or switch. If they are communicating with each other, then it is called network. Sorry, LAN. Now I have one branch in KPHP, one area, one branch in another area. I have within the city, I have two different branches in different locations. Okay, in one branch I have a LAN connectivity, in another branch also I have LAN connectivity. When these two branches are communicating with each other, then we call it as metropolitan area network. Okay, so LAN, it is a private network. Devices are connected within a campus or building. MAN, metropolitan area network, it is a public network. Devices are interconnected. When the devices are communicating within a city, we call it as MAN. It is a group of LANs. When group of LAN are communicating with each other, we call it as MAN. And now WAN, wide area network. When the devices are communicating between different geographical areas, you have one branch in Hyderabad, one branch in Bangalore, one branch in Delhi, one branch in other state, other city, other country, and all are communicating with each other. Then it is called WAN, wide area network. We can take example for WAN is internets. Okay, so these are the types we have in network: LAN, MAN, WAN. Local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. When the devices are connected within a campus or building, we call it as LAN connectivity. When the devices are communicating within a city, we call it as MAN. When the devices are communicating between different geographical areas, we call it as WAN. How to give the connectivities, how the communication is going on, how to give LAN, MAN, WAN connectivities, practically I will show. As you saw here, Cisco's packet tracer, I will explain like this. All the concepts practically I will explain. Okay. And basic requirements to connect our system in a network. If you want to connect our system in a network, means these are the basic requirements. Now, you have 2-3 pieces in your home, or in you're staying with your friends, you're in room or some, you have multiple pieces, like 2-3 pieces are there, laptops are there, you want to practice yourself
Ma'am,
networking concepts. Yeah,
basically that LAN WAN, man, is there any kilometer distance range, ma'am, like that?
LAN
Like
means it works in 100 meters.
in and around of 100 meters only, ma'am.
Yeah, in and around of 400 meters. Man, within the city, with the help of modems, they will connect. Within a city, they can communicate with each other. WAN means different geographical areas using
Yeah.
internets.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
And these are the basic requirements to connect our system in a network. NIC, media, networking devices, topology, IP address, and protocols. So first is NIC. Network interface card or connection. This is NIC, our LAN port or LAN card or Ethernet card we can say. At present, we are getting Ethernet, fast Ethernet and gigabit Ethernet ports we are getting. Difference is speed, 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps and 1000 Mbps. Okay, so while manufacturing of this NIC, a MAC address is hard-coded in it, means fixed in it. What is MAC address means? It is a physical address of our system in a network. And MAC address is unique address. For every NIC, they will give one MAC address. That MAC address is fixed. We cannot change the MAC address. So, I'm repeating, while manufacturing of NIC, a MAC address is hard-coded in it. So, it is a physical, what is MAC address means? It is a physical address of our system in a network. MAC stands for Media Access Code or Control. And that MAC address comes with 48-bit binary or 12-digit hexadecimal form. 48 bits in zeros and ones or 12 digits in hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal means combination of alphabets and numerical. Okay, you will get 12-digit hexadecimal form. So there, half digits represents vendor ID, half digits represent card ID. In hexadecimal form, half digits represents vendor ID. Vendor ID means company code. How many NICs they will release? For all the NICs, the first 6 digits are same. If it is 12-digit hexadecimal form. If it is 48-bit binary, half digits. 24 bits are for company code. And remaining bits are MAC address. That MAC address is unique address. Okay. So NIC is compulsory. Basic requirement. In every NIC, there is a MAC address. MAC address is a physical address of our system in a network. Okay. And next one is media. Data transfer takes place through media. In media, we have two types. MAC address, again in further classes, I'll explain. As I told, I'm just giving intro. That's it. Brief, very brief information I'm giving. Okay, so in media, we have two types, guided media, unguided media. Guided media means there is a specific direction to transfer the data from source to destination. Unguided media means it transfers the data from source to destination, but it will not maintain any specific direction. So example for guided media is cables. Because using cables, if you connected the devices, means through the cable only it transfers the data. Right. So example for guided media is cable. So, and cables we have like coaxial cable, twisted cable, twisted pair cable and fiber optic cable. Coaxial cables are outdated at present. We have twisted pair cable and fiber optic cables. Okay. And example for unguided media is wireless connectivity. Because when you are using wireless connection, it transfers the data from source to destination, but it will not maintain any specific direction. So that's why example for unguided media is wireless connection.
Ma'am, could you please explain again this media part?
Yeah. So media, data transfer takes place through media. There are two types, guided media, unguided media. Guided media means there is a specific direction to transfer the data from source to destination. Okay, means using cables, if you connected the devices, means it maintains a specific direction. So example for guided media is cable. We have cables like coaxial cable, twisted pair cable, fiber optic cable, but coaxial cables are outdated. And example for unguided media is wireless. Because when you are using wireless connection, it transfers the data from source to destination, but it will not maintain any specific direction. So unguided media examples: Bluetooth, infrared, Wi-Fi connection. This all comes under unguided media only. RF waves, because when you are using wireless connectivity, it transfers the data from source to destination, but it will not maintain any specific direction. That's why example for unguided media is wireless connectivity.
Ma'am, do you have the images of those cables that you?
Yes, I will show. See, we have cables like this. These coaxial cables are outdated. At present, we have twisted pair cable and fiber optic cables. Okay. Again, in this cable, we have two types. This is twisted pair cable. Here we have two types, UTP and STP, unshielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair. There are two types of cables. Okay, so both are used in LAN, in offices or home PCs. We use this cables. Then what is the difference between UTP and STP? Means UTP is low cost. Okay, generally we use UTP cables only. STP cables are high cost because in FTP cable there is a cover. If you open outer jacket, there you can see a mesh or plastic shield, we call, like we can see one cover. Technically, we call it as mesh or plastic shield. It is used to reduce electromagnetic inductions. Where we have much disturbance, means noise while transferring the data, there we go with STP cables. General purpose, we use UTP cables only. And fiber optic cables means where we need high bandwidth or underground connections are going, there only we go with fiber optic cables. General purpose, we use UTP cables only. Okay, again in cables we have categories like Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5, Cat 5e, Cat 6. We have different categories in cables. Cat 1 cable is used for telephone, black color landline line. In landline, you can see black color wire. That wire is Cat 1. Cat 2 to Cat 6 are used for networking. Okay, and the difference between these cables are speed. Data transfer its speed is different from one cable to another cable. Like Cat 1 cable is 2 Mbps, Cat 2 4 Mbps, Cat 3 10 Mbps, Cat 4 20 Mbps, Cat 5 100 Mbps, Cat 5e 500 Mbps, Cat 6000 Mbps. Difference is speed. Okay, and in Cat 1 cable, there are two pairs of wires. Means while twisting, they will give two pairs of wires. Means four wires you will get if you remove the twist. And if you see Cat 2 to Cat 6, there are four pairs of wires. While twisting, they will give four pairs. If you remove the twist, means you will get 8 wires. And connector for Cat 1 cable is RJ11, registered jack 11. Small pin you will get. In landline connection, if you observe, there is a pin, small pin, they will connect to our phone. The pin name is RJ11, registered jack 11. Connector for Cat 2 to Cat 6 means our LAN cable. Connector is RJ45, registered jack 45. Difference, how to differentiate which is RJ11, which is RJ45 means RJ11 with 4 pins, RJ45 you will get with 8 pins. This notes about the cables, categories, differences, everything notes I will share. I'll make a note and I will share to your Telegram group once you register. We have different networking devices, repeaters, hubs, bridges, switches, routers. We have different networking devices. This is all required for us in if you want to communicate with different geographical areas, or if you want to communicate from one network to another network. So there we need these all networking devices.
Ma'am, I have one small one.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in previous slide we have 8 pairs, ma'am. 4 pairs of cables, 8 pins.
Yes.
Do we need all these 8 cables, ma'am? It is required, or else we all even through one cable also we will transmit the data, no?
Their important cables are 1, 2, 3, 6. These cables are important. See, we have color coding. Using these cables, we can make a straight cable or cross cable.
Okay, these all 8 cables are required to transmit the data.
Yeah, no, 1, 2, 3, 6 cables are required for transferring the data.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. And remaining one?
Remaining are empty words only, dummy words, just for supporting that piece.
Okay. Okay.
See, like this you'll get. And connecting RJ45 with CAT cables, we use crimping tool. Using crimping tool, we make the straight cables and cross cables. So using these cables, we can make straight cable and cross cable. Straight cables are used for connecting dissimilar devices. Like when you want to connect PC to switch, switch to hub to PC. If you want to connect, we go with, or switch to router. If you want to connect, we go with straight cable. When you want to connect PC to PC, switch to switch, PC to router, we go with cross cable. Like this. Straight cable is used for dissimilar devices and cross cable is used for similar devices. So this is the color coding for straight cable. 8 cables color coding is this. Both sides same color coding is you're getting, means that is called straight cable. If you are getting different color coding, if color coding is changing, 1 is going to 3rd position, 2 is going to 6th position. Okay, then it is cross cable. We have another cable, that is console cable or rollover cable, which is used for initial configuration of a router. Okay, here one end is this, other end is in reverse order. If you are connecting, then it is called console cable. Where we use this console cable, that will see practically. All the cables I will show you practically. And the next basic requirement to connect our system in a network is topology. Topology means physical layout of our system in a network. So topologies, we have different topologies like bus topology, ring topology, star topology, mesh topology. We have different topology. At present, coaxial cables are outdated and ring topology also outdated. Bus topology also outdated. Okay, at present what we have, that is star topology and mesh topology. Mesh topology is for connecting multiple routers. Star topology is for connecting multiple PCs. Hub and switch are the centralized controllers in star topology. Hub and switch are the centralized controllers in star topology. So, about the hub and switch, the completely, we have almost 1 week classes are there. In CCNA, we'll discuss about this in 1 week. We have 1 week classes for that. Okay, there we'll discuss about this switch, how to configure switch, what we can do using switch, everything in CCNA we'll discuss. There are almost 1 week classes for that. And the next basic requirement to connect our system in a network is protocols. Protocols means set of rules for communication. Okay, we have different protocols that I will explain separately. And next basic requirement is IP address. About IP address also we'll discuss separately. First, I'll explain about protocols. Protocols means set of rules for communication. Protocol means set of rules for communication. Okay, so we have different standard protocols. If two devices which are connected in a network wants to communicate with each other, compulsory we require protocols. At present, for data communication purpose, which protocol we are using means TCP IP. Protocol what we are using for sending the data, protocol means rules. While sending the data, receiving the data, PCs will maintain some rules. The rules are called protocols. Okay, at present, which protocol we are using means that is TCP IP protocol. Okay, but we are using OSLAS as a reference model to know the function of TCP IP protocol. We are using OSLAS as a reference model. Okay, we are not using this protocol. OSA protocol we are not using. We are using OSLAS as a reference model. OSLAS are very, very important for freshers. Those who are going for interviews as a fresher definitely will get the questions from OSLAS. So OSA was developed by International Organization for Standardization, which is called ISO, in the year 1984. Okay, so it is a layered architecture. Using 7 layers, they will explain about this OSI. Each layer defines a set of functions which takes part in a data communication. While sending the data and receiving the data, our PCs will maintain some rules. That rules are called protocol. At present, which protocol we are using means TCP IP. And to know the function of that protocol, we are using OSI as a reference model. Okay, OSI is with 7 layers. Application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Here, always numbering starts from bottom to top. If someone asks you what is the first layer in OSI, physical layer, second is data link, third network, fourth transport, fifth session, sixth presentation, and seventh application. Always numbering starts from bottom to top only. Okay, and here top 3 layers are called user support layers or network support layer. User support layers or software layers. And last 3 layers are called network support layers or hardware layer. And middle layer, transport layer is called core of OSI, means backbone for OSI. So using these 7 layers, we can understand the function while sending the data and receiving the data, what rules our system will maintain, that we can understand using these 7 layers. Okay, so here always numbering starts from bottom to top only, but if our requirement is sending the data, if you're sending the data from your PC to your friend PC, example, if you want to send the data, first we generate the data. Where we generate the data means in application. So at the time, it starts working from application layer. Now, you're sending the data, I'm receiving the data. How my system will receive the data? Using media. Okay, media comes under hardware. Then it starts working from physical layer. So always numbering starts from bottom to top only, but depends on our requirement. Our system starts working with these layers. If your system is sending the data, in your system it starts working from application layer. If your system is receiving the data, yes, it starts working from physical layer. Now I want to, these are the layers we have. Okay, about these layers, about each layer we'll discuss from tomorrow onwards. It will take almost 2 days to explain. I will not give brief information about these layers. I will explain completely each layer, every point completely. I will explain here. Okay, so this is for today's session. I just gave very brief information about network. Like what is network, what is networking, how many types of networks are there, and what are the basic requirements we have to connect our system in a network. I just gave brief information only. Okay, so and next is OSA layers. About this OSA layers, one by one, every layer I will explain. Okay, so this is for today's session. Thank you for the session. If you have anything to ask, you can ask me. Tomorrow, our class timing is 7 p.m. We'll start the class on time sharp. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah.
Madam, what about the certification like CCNA certification? So will you provide ISA or I need to write global examination?
No, CCNA certification means you have to write separately. It is not given, CCNA certification is not given by any institute. It is given by promoting centers. So you need to write the exam
Some
of that.
institutes they will provide like ISO certifications.
No, in institutes, if you will get only course completed certificate.
Okay.
So if you want CCNA certification means you should write the exam.
Yeah, but if I have CCNA, na, then only we will get more calls or more resume weightage. Na.
Come again?
So if I have a CCNA certification, then only I will get more calls and more weightage to the my resume, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
As a fresher means not required. In few organizations only they will ask for that.
Okay. So if I have any gap, they will consider like as a fresher.
No issues. Gap you have means there should be a proper reason for that.
Yeah, I have a experience in my core background, so
Yeah,
I
then
want to.
it's fine. Then you can say that you are switching to new technology.
Okay. And will you provide any guarantee job guarantee programs?
That you should ask counselors.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Or that only. Technically, any issues are there? Concepts are not clear. I will explain.
Okay.
Any other than that, you contact counselors only.
Okay. How can I contact counselor?
You'll get a mail or you'll get a call from them.
Okay. Okay.
I'll ask them to contact you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. క్లాస్ తొందరగా ఆపేద్దామంటే పోయి సైలెంట్